performance here. The score might say it was an easy match, but obviously the different conditions, quite tough here. But how did you feel on court?
Yeah, I felt good. I thought in the start it was a bit more tricky to kind of get into the rhythm. Yeah, also with my serving, I felt not so great today, but I thought I kind of was experienced enough and maybe more smart today to win instead of playing like perfect tennis.
Hi, Belinda. Congrats. For you and your game style and your comfort on the surface, do you prefer when maybe it's not this hot, but it's a hot, dry day on clay outdoors versus if you wake up and you see it's going to be a little bit, gloomier, a little bit cooler? What, for you, do you prefer to play on clay?
For me, it's perfect. I love this right now.
Okay. Because of the speed?
Yeah, because it's hot. The ball is flying more. I also like the heat. I don't like to play when it's like cold and wet and windy. I really like the conditions, and I don't really, of course, I'm not playing like the guys 4 hours, 4.5. I really feel for them, but in my hour, hour and a half match, I feel like for me it's very good when it's this hot. I also like the heat, and it's good for my tennis.
And then I was curious, is there a shot that you see that your opponents hit, maybe not necessarily against you, but just generally even when you're watching matches, that you see more these days in the women's game specifically compared to maybe 5 years ago or even longer before that? Like a shot that you see is really either improved or existed more, I guess.
I think the women are now trying as well to play more spin, to play more heavy. I feel like, with the top players especially, you can feel like their ball is very powerful, but it's also heavier. It feels like it's going through more, and I feel like that's due to more spin and, really just the woman trying to kind of play really more like the men in this way, more physical and putting more of this. Of course, it's not the same like the men, but I think we are trying to do that, and maybe serving faster, I would say.
Congrats, Belinda. How did you feel today on the court, and how do you feel these days here in Paris? And are you happy with the way you play? And what's your aim in this tournament? Where can you go?
I am happy. I'm here. I'm in the third round. I think I, won 2 matches. It's good. I'm feeling good when I'm practicing. I like the conditions, and my aim is to win the next round.
Hello. How do you explain the third round is so far your best result in Paris? You said on the court that you like to be here. You had good result in juniors, so why so far you didn't achieve better?
I just feel like, I had some tough matches that I lost. I think it was 5-7 in third set with Fernandez, I think 2021, 22. I'm not sure. So, yeah, it's just, clay is not my best surface. I think I can play well on clay, but I just wasn't able to do it here. And of course, it's my aim to do my best result right now. And I also had a lot of years where I was injured or not in my best form coming here into Paris. So I'm really happy that this year everything is fine.
Hey, Belinda, well played. You mentioned 2022. I think that was your last trip to the third round here, and that was a really good clay season for you. With I think Charleston was good that year, and you've been solid this year. Would you say this is the best you've played on this surface since that season, given all you've gone through, the pregnancy and being off for a while?
Yeah, I think I didn't really play since that season. No, I definitely feel like I'm the most comfortable with my movement this year somehow. I always worked on it a lot, but I feel like this year it's maybe clicked a little bit more in a way that I feel kind of comfortable moving and I'm not thinking about it so much. So in that regard, yes. And obviously with my tennis, I always feel good, but of course on clay, I feel like I have to do the most adjustments. It's, for example, on grass, I just go to the court and I play like I would play in my dream, just I don't have to adjust anything, it's just going. And then on clay, you come and you have to, you know, change some things a little bit because, of course, the surface is different, the movement is a little bit different. So, yeah, that's why.
Is there a little extra motivation in your mind because you do have an opportunity to make the second week here, which you've done at all the other slams?
I'm motivated every day. It doesn't matter if I have an opportunity or not. You know, every draw, it's tough, and it doesn't mean that if you play against a lower ranked player, you have a bigger opportunity or not. You always have the same chance. You have to show up on the day that you play in your best form, and it doesn't matter against who you play or what is the ranking on the paper. It's not helping you in the match at all. So you have to show up and do your best anyhow.
And Belinda, you mentioned like the heavier balls that you're seeing more from the players, bigger serves. I'm curious, like how different it is for you to compete with that. I think back to, you know, the era of Halep, Kerber. You know, the number ones were kind of more counter punchers, maybe a little bit, where you were the, you know, you had that kind of breakable power against them. Now it's just a little bit of a different type of power. How different is it for you tactically to play now compared to kind of how it was back in, you know, those days?
Yeah, I mean, I did feel like, you know, that generation was really more about, you know, staying in the rally, not missing, you know, Halep, Kerber, Jankovic, Pennetta, you know, all of them like really playing the rallies and like kind of outplaying your opponent a little bit, maybe more in a tactical way than in a power way. Now I really feel like you drop the ball short and you're going to run for the next one because everyone is stepping in, everyone is trying to play aggressive. There is no one really that knows that if I'm going to play defensive, I can win the match. Everyone is really going for it. But yeah, so I think that's the biggest difference, and I think everyone just needs to adapt. I think I've adapted well. I also have enough power to compete with these girls. I just really think it's about the consistency, about the discipline that you have, you know, in your shot making, in your thinking of which shot I'm going to play right now, and also about the serve.